Hello everybody, this is the Sun Wukong guide. Basically how to play Sun Wukong, how to build Sun Wukong, and then some tips and tricks of special situations and things and how you want to play them in lane and different things like that. Um, Basically going to take you from probably a novice of Sun Wukong into someone who's really good at Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong is really fun to play. Nobody that plays him doesn't enjoy playing them. Um, just in the old days, people got frustrated because they felt as though that he couldn't do any damage and that he couldn't kill anyone. So it's not the case anymore. There's a way that you can play him. I'm about to show you here, and there's also ways that you can build him, and also he had some love from the developers. Alvarez decided to buff him a little bit, which helped him out a little. But even without that, he was still good. So first, let's start with his kit. So Sun Wukong has the Magic Cudgel, which is a line ability. That's his clear. That's also his poke. Does a good amount of damage. It's on a 10-second cooldown, so as poke goes, that's pretty good. Master's Will is he does damage around himself. He sort of spins and slows people. Could be considered poke as well. You can hit people with that and then walk out because of the slow. 17 transformations is his utility. This is his escape. This is his engage most of the time. This thing basically does a lot for him. So he turns into an ox, which can knock you up, a tiger, which can stun you, or a bird, which has like a crazy amount of movement speed that can cover a pretty vast distance, as you'll see. Somersault Cloud is his ult, and this is probably the key to his kit that allows him to do what he does in game. So the passive, let's talk about the passive. So the passive, Undefeated Body. They changed this a while back. It used to be really bad. Right now you get power. You used to get crit chance instead, which was terrible. You basically couldn't make use of the crit chance. I mean, the threshold of this was 35%, and getting crit chance down that low was basically not useful at all. When you got that down that low, if you was still trying to get some crit procs, you probably was dead, or you probably was going to die. So you really didn't make much use of that. So they changed it. They upped it from the threshold proc from 35% to 40%, which is not a lot, but is still better. To me personally, I think they should make it 50%. 50% is I think is what it should be. Is a good place for that. Because what happens is the way they changed it, which they gave him power with the protections, it put him a lot closer to other warriors in the game that already get free power and free protections as well. If you think about like a Hercules or a Tyr or someone like that, they get free power, they get free protections, and this kind of put him on par with that, rather than have the crit and the protections passive. So, so they get I think up to 50 power and 30 protections. That used to be 50 protections, but I guess that was too strong, so they brought it down. So overall, that's still gets them closer to where the other warriors are in that respect. They also changed the scaling on his 1 and his 2, which is very good for us, and you're going to see why later when we put points into these. It didn't make or break them, but I mean it makes them stronger the way that we're going to play them. So the cudgel I think got, was it 15% damage mitigation. I mean 15% scaling, and I think the Master Swirl got 10%, or either the other way around. Let me see. What is that? I can't see from here, but 15 and 10 for both of these. Which if you build power, it really helps. Like I said, it doesn't make him break him. He's still good without that. So let's see how to level him. So a lot of people, the way they level them is they put some points into the 1, they just get everything, put some points into the 1, and then they probably max out the 3, because his 3 does the most damage per ability. His 3 is the most damaging ability, but that's not how we're going to play him, and I don't think that's how you should play him. And I don't think that's how you get the most damage out of him. So let's take him to 5. 7. Okay, so you're going to get Cudgel first, because it's clear. Then you're going to get the Master's Will. Then you're going to get 72 transformations. Then you're going to put another point into the Cudgel. And you get the ult. So this is probably where everybody's going to be. His Cudgel and his Master's Will has the same cooldown. It used to be sometimes people would get Master's Will to clear the wave, because it did a little bit more damage and it was less mana. But now that they have the same mana cost, you definitely always get Cudgel first. I just got Cudgel anyway, because of the little passive that's on that. Yeah, so you always get Cudgel. But what we're going to do is we're going to max the Cudgel first before anything. And then as soon as we can't put any more points into abilities, we're going to put points into the 2. So we're going to max the 1, then we're going to max the 2, then we're going to max the 3, then we're going to max the ult. And some people are like, well, his 3 is his most damaging ability. Doesn't matter. His 3 is also all his utility. It's all most of his escape. And as you'll see right here, if I have his 3 out, even if it's at 1, when I hit this and I stun you, I'm guaranteed at least 2 basics. So you had the damage from the 3 and the 2 basics that I probably get off the stun. So you add all that together. So when you add it together, you know, you're not losing a whole lot by not leveling the 3. And then at the same time, all your damage is in your 1 and your 2. So, and the reason why you do this is because a lot of times people, when you put damage into your 3, a lot of times it baits you out to die, because when you see somebody, you want to 3 them because that's where all your damage is, but that might not be the correct move to make. It might not be the correct decision to make. So a lot of times, if your damage is in your 3, you're gonna, even sometimes unconsciously, you're gonna 3 somebody, and it could be enemies there, enemies all around you, and stuff like that, and you basically just killed yourself. So what people would do to remedy the situation a lot of times is they'll build cooldowns, which I think is also as bad, because the only thing that you're building cooldowns for on this god is literally the 3. His 1 and his 2 is on 10-second cooldown, so I mean, you're not building cooldowns for that. I mean, 10 seconds is really good. So you're really building cooldowns for the 3. And the problem is, if you're relying on cooldowns and you're baiting yourself out with cooldowns because you have cooldowns and because all of your damage into your 3, you're going to take a lot of deaths on Sun Wukong that's not even necessary, because you're going to use your 3 and then you're going to die. So we're avoiding all them deaths, and guess what? We're still going to do more damage. And basically, the damage that we're going to do, like I said, all our damage is in our 1 and 2, so that's what we're going to use to mainly do damage. And what you want to do is a combo is you want to do where you weave in basics among all of your abilities. So it goes like this: Tiger Stun, you do 1, 2 basics, Master's Will, that slows them, 1, 2 basics, and then Cudgel. Now the Cudgel is, if they're running away, you can hit them with the Cudgel. So what happens is you can stretch that combo out, and you jump on someone with the tire stun, and then you basic them until they start running away. Or if they get another upper hand, then you go ahead and Master's Will them. So if they're running away, you just slow them. You just guarantee yourself at least another 2 basics. But what you can drag that out though, you can basic them until they get too far away from you, or into they're about to die, so you just cut you to finish them off, or until they use their dash or their jump or something like that, and then you can use the cudgel, and that finishes them off. It's not a lot of jumps or dashes that outrange the cudgel. I mean, there's a few, maybe Fenrir's leap, Nox dash, Cupid dash. Some people have really long escapes that can outrange the cudgel before it hits them, but most people, you're gonna hit them with the cudgel and finish them. So that's something that you're looking to do. So that's the combo, and you're still going to get a lot of damage off with your points into your 1 and your 2. But the thing now is you don't have to bait yourself out with your 3. If it's not safe to 3, then you don't 3. You still have your poke. You still want your damage is still coming through in your poke and abilities, so you don't have to 3 if it's not safe. Now, this is the good part about this. Sun Wukong has an ult, which to me is one of the best ults in the game as far as surviving, right? So he jumps up into the cloud, and he really can't be touched up there unless you get a poison on him or something, circuit, different other things. But for the most part, it's basically a get out of jail free pass, right? So whenever you have your ult, you know that you're not dying anytime soon, right? At least you're not gonna die with your ult up. So whenever you have your ult, you're free to use your 3 however you want. So you can use it for damage as long as you have your ult. It don't matter if it's people amongst them. You can just stun them, and you're fine. If they turn on you, you can ult if you have to. You want to avoid that situation because you want to hold your ult for as long as possible so you can keep doing damage for free. But as long as you have your ult, you can use your 3 however you want. You can use it for damage. You can use it for peel. You can use it to catch up with people, or whatever you want to use it. You can use it when you have your ult. Let me see. So now, you know what? We're gonna go into the builds with Sun Wukong. So now we're gonna save that for part 2.